I'm out here starting seeds this morning. I've got mostly tomatoes, peppers, herbs, and then got a few different flowers that I'm going to be adding to my little tea garden I'm making. So I've got chamomile and echinacea, and I already have lavender out there, and I'm also putting some mint in a container out there. I've also got cucumbers here. I'm not gonna do pickling cucumbers this year, just slicing cucumbers. And then I've got cabbage, spinach, celery, okra. I'm gonna start some more asparagus. I have some that I started 2 years ago and it's producing now, so I wanna get some more going out there. For my herbs, I've got basil, chives, lemon balm, which is also something I'm doing for my tea garden, cumin, echinacea, chamomile, coriander, cilantro, parsley. I've got 3 kinds of melons down here. I've got watermelon, hopefully just a small one, because the past couple years I grew some and they were about 25 pounds each, which was just like insane, too much for us, but the chickens really enjoyed those. So I've got these little guys, the bush sugar baby. It says they only get up to 12 pounds, so we'll see. And then honeydew, cantaloupe. I've got ground cherries. If you've never had ground cherries, I really like them. They're like in the tomato family, but they're sweet and have kind of a tropical flavor. You can eat them, you know, straight off the plant, or you can make jam from them. My son really likes them, so I always try to grow some. For my tomatoes, I have a couple starts that I bought, but I've got the San Marzano and the Roma are my 2 sauce tomatoes I like to do. They always produce really well. I want to do about 12 of those, so 6 each on those. They usually take up like a whole row. I have out there a 16-foot row. And then I'm just gonna do a couple cherry tomato plants and then a couple like heirloom slicing tomato plants, because those don't really get eaten as much around here. I'm doing spaghetti squash. I've done that before and it did really well, and it's like one of my daughter's favorite foods, so love to do that. Celery, always classic. I like to do stuff that I can freeze. I'm not like that experienced in canning, so I just kind of like to throw things in the freezer. We have 2 refrigerators with freezers, and then we have a 6-foot long chest freezer. So we have lots of room. Sunflowers, not only beautiful, but also they produce seeds that you can eat. So one thing I wanted to focus on this year is producing calories. So we've got potatoes, we've got corn, the sunflowers will do that. I've got my seed starting mix here. I've got a bunch of these. I had some old seed starting mix and I got some rain in it, so it's kind of muddy. I just dumped that in there, and I'm gonna fill the rest up and get them going. Here is what I'm going to be direct sowing: carrots, radishes, corn, 2 kinds of corn, and some green beans. These are little bush beans. I don't think they are climbers. And then these 2, I'm gonna do some pumpkins just a little later in the season. I want to be harvesting them around, you know, Halloween, October. And we've got about 110 to 120 days till harvest, so I'm just gonna wait a little longer. I don't know what's gonna happen with this. Obviously the seeds are a little older from 2022. I did try to grow some 2 years ago, and at first the plant did really well and was growing really fast and looked very healthy, and then over like 2 or 3 days time it was just destroyed by some pest. All the blooms fell off and it just died. So I gave up on that, but I do want to try again this year. I would love to see a giant pumpkin, just for fun, honestly, but we'll see what happens. It's actually early April here, just a little bit before our last frost date. I don't typically start seeds in winter time. I kind of just wait until it's going to be a little warmer. We grow like well into October, so I feel like there's plenty of time to get everything done I want to get done. Anyways, with all these, I'm just going to kind of figure about how many of each plant I want, and then I'll do a couple extra just to be sure I get that number. Every single year I always get things kind of mixed up, but I eventually figure out what it is. It's still gross food. So I just drop about 2 or 3 seeds in each little cell here. It's all just trial and error for me. I don't try to take it too seriously. And that's worked for me so far, so it's fine. I'm all done here. I just ended up filling up these 2 big ones and 1 little one. So I'm gonna dump all of this back into my bag to use another day. Got my handy rain barrel here. It only takes about 1 good rain to fill this thing up, so it's really nice when I'm just hand watering, you know, my little seedlings and whatnot. Okay, I do have this little, used to be greenhouse situation, but of course the cover just got decimated in the wind that we get, so it's okay. It still works as like a good spot to put everything. I've got my starts I bought back here. These are garbanzo bean starts, which I thought would be fun. We'll see how they do. I got 3 of these. I got some edamame soybeans, a couple of those, and then I got 2 kinds of cherry tomatoes, Sugar Rush and Sun Sugar. They're like an orangey yellow color when they're ripe. I'm gonna plant these onions. I got tons of things to do, honestly. Every day I try to spend, you know, about 3 hours outside, depending on the weather. So just chipping away at it, kind of, and we'll get there eventually. I always end up with more food than I can eat. So despite there being mistakes along the way, lots of weeds and mess and this, that, and the other, it's still a success if I've got food to eat and food in the freezer, and you know, that's the whole point of it all, and it's fun. So thanks for watching.